What's going on, guys? Owen Form coming at you guys today with another video. And today's video, we're going to be talking about the preview of the Detroit Lions going to MetLife to visit the New York Giants with the matchup. The 3-6 Detroit Lions, third place in the NFC North. The 7-2 New York Giants, second place in the NFC East. These are my two favorite teams all in the NFL going head to head. Always like the New York Giants, man, with Lawrence Taylor. Mark Bavaro back in the day, Phil Simms winning a couple Super Bowls. It was really fun to watch that team. Always liked them. But I always bleed Honolulu Blue and Silver. That's just the way I roll. Now with the injury report, let's get to that real quick. We'll talk about the Lions. Defensive end Charles Harris with a groin injury. No practice. He is out. Defensive lineman, the rookie Joshua Pascal with a knee. No practice, out as well. Those second-round picks. Safety, Deshaun Elliott with a concussion. Limited practice. He is questionable. Center, Frank Ragnow with a foot. He was in that walking boot. He was a limited practice. Looks like he's questionable. Dan Campbell thinks he's going to go. If not, it looks like probably going to be Evan Brown in there at center. And then wide receiver Josh Reynolds with a back injury. He didn't practice on Friday, but he is still questionable. We'll see what happens then. Linebacker, the rookie phenom Malcolm Rodriguez with an elbow. Full practice. Questionable though. Left tackle Taylor Decker with the vet rest, full practice, no injury designation. Cornerback Chase Lucas, the rookie, ankle, full practice, no injury designation. Safety Ife Melifonu with an ankle injury as well, full practice, no injury designation. Offensive tackle Matt Nelson, calf, full practice, no injury designation at all. Running back DeAndre Swift with an ankle and shoulder, full practice, no injury designation too. Running back Jamal Williams, he was feeling not too well this week. He's a full practice on Friday, though. No injury designation, good to go. We'll see if some of these guys dress. I don't know if every single one of these guys will dress. Obviously, you'll see majority of these guys dressing, but you could see a few maybe with healthy scratches. But time will tell. We'll know more on Sunday. Now, DJ Chark, a wide receiver, and Romeo Okwara, the defensive end, have been practicing this week. They will not play this game. 21-day window opens up. They got taken off the IR. Now they'll be evaluated to see if they can play down the road. If they can't make a decision on these guys in 21 days, they'll be shut down for the rest of the year. So not playing is DJ Chark and Romeo Okwara. So don't think they're coming to play. They're not there quite yet. And then they put wide receiver Trinity Benson on IR. They just required him back. Got hurt versus the Bears, and now he is done for at least 4 games. So we'll know more later on down the road. But now on to the Giants injury report. Rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger with an eye injury. No practice. He is out. Tackle Evan Neal, another rookie, has a knee. Limited practice. He is doubtful. So probably not going to be going. Defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle. He's a really good one too. With a back injury, some vet rest. Limited practice, questionable as well. Safety Dane Belton with a clavicle, limited practice, questionable. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay, you remember him, with a hamstring injury, limited practice, questionable. Wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, high pick with a hammy, limited practice, questionable as well too. O-lineman Josh Ezeudu, neck, limited practice, questionable as well. And then outside linebacker Jihad Ward with a thumb, full practice, no injury designation. And then their first-round pick, offensive linebacker rookie, Kayvon Thibodeau, with an illness, missed some practices this week. He's a full practice on Friday. He will be going on Sunday. Now, let's talk about this offense, Lions-Giants. Start with the Lions first. Total yards, 383.4 yards for the Lions. Puts them at 7th. 241.4 yards passing. Puts them at 8th in the NFL. 129.8 yards on the ground. That puts them at 10. 24.3 points per game puts them at number 9. 40 third down conversion percentage, third downs into first downs. That puts them at 19th in the league. They are still overall the 6th best offense in the NFL, even with all the hiccups that's been going on with the injuries and the quarterback play and just all that stuff, especially the injuries in the quarterback play. They still are the 6th overall best offense in the NFL. It's a miracle. Those first 4 games really skyrocketed them up there. And then the New York Giants offense, nothing to really write home about, but they do have one really good one. Total yards, 343.3 yards a game, puts them at 24. Passing yards, 161 yards through the air, puts them at 30th. They rushed for 164.8 yards. That puts them at third in the NFL, Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. They score 20.8 yards per game. That puts them at 22. And their third down percentage into conversion rate into thirds into first are 40.8%. That puts them at 16th in the NFL. Overall, they're the 23rd best offense in the league. Like I said, not a special offense, but the running game is ridiculous, especially with Barkley, obviously. And then let's go to their defense. Start with the Lions first. Total yards, 427 yards against, puts them at 32. Passing yards against, 255.3, puts them at 27th. Rushing yards against, 160.9, puts them at 31st. Points against, 29.3, 32nd. And then their third down, stopping third downs into first downs, is at a 51.4%. That puts them at 32. They are overall 32nd worst defense in the NFL. Still a train wreck of a defense. Playing a little bit better as we go on down the stretch with these past couple games. Making some more plays, but still a really horrible defense. Now the New York Giants, total yards, 363.6 yards against. That puts them at 16th in the NFL. 217 yards passing against, puts them at 18th. Rushing yards, you can rush on this team. They give up 133.2 yards on the ground. That puts them at 24th. They give up only 19.2 points per game. That puts them at number 9, top 10. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then they're stopping their third downs into first downs. The percentage, the conversion rate, is at a 32.7. Puts them at number 2 in the league. So they're really good at stopping teams from scoring and really good from making teams punt. They pretty much. So stopping thirds from going into first. Overall, they're the 18th best defense in the NFL. That puts them at just below average. So they're a below average defense, barely. But they're, but they are. I'd love to be below average right now. You know what I mean? I would love to be it, but that's what they are. Now the Giants roster, quarterback Daniel Jones. We'll talk about him in a bit. Running back Saquon Barkley, an absolute stud of a running back, has had some big time injuries the past couple of years. He's healthy as a horse this year, and he's really doing well. And he is he is one of the main reasons why they're winning football games. He's just a really good player. And then they got Matt Breida to back him up. He does a little bit of everything, can catch the ball, but it's the Barkley show. And then the wide receivers, Darius Slayton's probably their best guy. Richie James played for the 49ers before. Wan'Dale Robinson, young kid. David Sills, Kenny Golladay. Two receptions for Kenny Golladay this year. You all know who Kenny Golladay is. We had him in Detroit for a couple of years. Everybody wanted to pay him. I was even one of the guys that was like, maybe we should pay Kenny Golladay, because at the time, man, everybody was leaving. Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola was retiring. We didn't know what was going on with him. Who else was there's a few other guys just leaving town. And Kenny Golladay was kind of the young kid. I was like, okay, man, maybe they should pay him. Brad Holmes was like, no way. Bob Quinn tried to pay him. Thank God that Kenny Golladay turned down that bag. He turned down a lot of money. I think he was looking for more, and the New York Giants came up and they paid more because Brad Holmes told him that, hey, man, there's the door, bro. We're not giving you big-time money. And it was one of the best moves by Brad Holmes that's really not even looked at. Like, people kind of seem to forget it. They only want to talk about his bad decisions and stuff like that. This was a great decision by Brad Holmes. So there's their roster. Their tight ends, though, their best tight end is a rookie, Daniel Bellinger, and he's out for the game. So you got Tanner Hudson and Chris Myarick, two guys that I'm not really too worried about. Tanner Hudson is probably the second best guy, so he'll probably get the more looks at the starting tight end position, but nothing special there. Then offensive linemen, they have a really good one on left tackle, Andrew Thomas, one of the best in the NFL. Then left guard, Joshua Azuda. He's another rookie. He's a little bit banged up though, but I think he's playing. If he can't go, you might see some Nick Gates in there. Center, John Feliciano. Right guard, Mark Glowinski. And then right tackle, Evan Neal, the rookie out of Alabama. He is doubtful, so you're probably going to see Tyree Phillips in there. A very good run blocking O-line. Not the greatest in pass pro, but Daniel Jones is very elusive and he's very mobile. So, but they do let up some pressures, that offensive line. Now onto their defense. You got a really good one to talk about the D-line. Defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. He's a special kid, having a pretty good season. It was 5-6 sacks. He can play the run, get to the passer. He does a lot of nice things. Defensive end, Jihad Ward, a little bit guy who can get to the quarterback as well too. Defensive tackle Leonard Williams, another big body defensive tackle who's athletic, who can create a lot of pressure, create some chaos. And defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau, the first round pick, 5th overall out of Oregon. The kid that I really liked, the kid that I'll admit, the kid that I really wanted before Aiden Hutchinson. I did. I wanted Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to back up on it. I'm glad we took Hutchinson now because Thibodeau, he's not having a great year at all statistically. He is creating some pressures. He's doing stuff like that. He's one of the leading guys in the NFL for rookies, up there with him, Walker, with Hutchinson and Walker. Thibodeau's right there. But he's missed games. He's not as consistent. So it'll be something to keep an eye on Sunday. And then defensive end, O'Shane Jimenez, another guy too that can get to the quarterback a little bit too. But their D-line it's not the biggest D-line. Like Leonard is big, Williams, Lawrence has got some size, but after that, they're not huge, and you can't run on these guys, but they can get to the quarterback. And then their linebackers, I think they have a weak set of linebackers. Tay Crowder, Jalen Smith is on there. If you guys remember Jalen Smith, he was a former Cowboy who was like a really good linebacker. Kind of fell apart, had some injuries, some controversy going on in Dallas about, did he really love football? Was it all about football or was it about branding? What was it about with him? But he's one of their guys in that linebacking room. And then you got Micah McFadden. So it's not the best linebacking crew, but there's some potential there. Yeah, it's not the best linebacking crew. You can't exploit them. And then DBs, safety, Julian Love, who I like at safety. I think he's a tackling machine. He can cover pretty well. Cornerback, Adoree Jackson, a guy that's been on the Tennessee Titans. The Giants signed him to a big contract a couple years back. Got pretty much injury prone, but is playing decent football right now. Cornerback, Fabian Moreau. Safety, Dane Belton, who's a little bit banged up too. I think he should be playing. And then nickel cornerback, Darnay Holmes. So yeah, that's their secondary rounded out. I really do like Julian Love though. I really like Julian Love, and Adoree Jackson has his moments. Now let's talk Lions O versus Giants D, and we'll talk Lions D versus Giants O. But first, let's say, Brian Daboll is the Giants head coach here. Okay. Yeah, came from Buffalo. Him and Dan Campbell, our head coach, they have history together. They work together in Miami. They kind of know each other inside and out. Who will have the advantage? Time will tell. I think Brian Daboll is a better head coach, so he seems to be more heady. I guess you want to say he seems to not be making as many mistakes. He is new to the game at the head coaching position. But these two know each other. Just from, like I said, Daboll interviewed Campbell back in the day in Miami, 2011, 2012. I forget when it was, as to become the tight ends coach. And he hired him. So they got a relationship. They got a friendship. They talk. Supposedly Daboll told that story about how Dan Campbell was like hitting the walls, using chairs, throwing stuff around. Dan Campbell's like, he's exaggerating, man. He's like, but I did throw. He goes, but I did use chairs as a part of my interview process. So I guess it was kind of funny. But these guys know each other, so they know their ins and outs. So it's going to be very interesting who's got the advantage here. I'm really interested in that. Now let's talk the Lions O versus Giants D. Now this offense of Detroit Lions, still a really good offense, high-powered offense, even though I still criticize them every now and then. And I especially criticize the quarterback play here because I think it should be criticized. And we do have injuries. We have injuries. You know, it looks like maybe a couple guys are coming back, though. Hopefully Josh Reynolds can come back. We'll know more with that. Other than that, man, we're gonna see a lot of guys coming back from offense. Hopefully Reynolds, though, can come back, be another weapon for Jared Goff. But what they're going to have to do against this team, this Giants defense, they're going to have to run the football, obviously. They're 24th in the league against the run. They're going to have to pound. And what this defense does in New York, then they do extremely well. They stop teams from scoring. They're ninth overall in points scored against. They don't let teams get first downs from third downs. They're really good at, playing that bend but don't break defense. And what they're really good at too as well, turnovers. They force fumbles. They've recovered like 10 fumbles on the year so far. They got that really good, solid defense that just stymies offenses. Like you'll think you're going all the way down the field, and you will. You'll drive all the way down that field, and then they play really good red zone defense. They're like second or third in the red zone at defense. They just don't let teams score. They might give you field goals every now and then, but they're not going to give you touchdowns. So what they're going to have to do is run. They're going to have to get in the end zone. Amon-Ra is going to have a day. Swift, Jamal, whoever is going to be the lead back. Looks like it's going to be Jamal, but it's the same thing week in, week out, man. There's nothing really different. Like, a lot of teams can't stop the run, it seems like. Every game I talk about, it's like this team's they're the worst at stopping the run. So try to run the football on the New York Giants, and you can. We should be able to. We have a big, strong O-line. Goff can use that play action. Hit the short shots. They have a good passing defense, not the greatest. It's about a little bit below average. Like I said, they give up a ton of yards, but they just don't give up a lot of scores. And look out for Julian Love. Look out for Julian Love, the safety of the New York Giants. He's a guy that I'm kind of nervous about a little bit. Now the Lions defense versus the Giants. This Giants offense, they are, I don't want to say they're one-dimensional. They kind of are, though. Saquon Barkley, okay? That's all I need to say. He is, in my opinion, the best running back in the NFL when healthy. Him and McCaffrey, I think, are right up there, but Barkley has the nod. What you want to do, bottle him up, just like I talked about last week. You got to bottle up Justin Fields. What happened there? They didn't bottle him up. They gave up good yards per carry against Montgomery, who had like 4 yards per carry, 4.1. And then Herbert, before he went down, he was at like 5.3. So they were running well on them. And Justin Fields had over 11 yards per carry. So Saquon Barkley, it's going to be no different. You're going to have to ball him up. I don't know how they're going to do it, but you're going to have to do it. They don't really use Matt Breida a whole bunch. He is a guy that's capable of those, got some really good speed, played for a couple different teams in the NFL, but it's the Barkley show. You want this team to drop back and pass. Like, that's why I said score against them and score often. Then maybe you can get the ball a little bit more out of Barkley's hands. Because you want Daniel Jones to throwing the football. He doesn't have a lot of touchdown passes. He's got maybe 9 or 10, if that, or something like that. I think I should have wrote that down. But he doesn't have a lot of touchdown passes. But one thing that he is doing well, he's not giving up a lot of interceptions like he has in the past. That's because he's not throwing much. They're really limiting his throwing. Really smart football play. Smart coaching by the New York Giants. But if you score on them, then you're going to make Daniel Jones pass. And then when you make Daniel Jones pass, more prone to mistakes. And that's what we want to see. We want to see him make mistakes, take the ball out of Saquon Barkley's hands. I think this game is winnable. I have not picked the Lions to win in 2 weeks. I believe. I think it's 2 weeks. I'm picking them to win this game. I'm going to pick them to win this game. And no, it's not because I want to jinx them. I legitimately think we have a chance. Now the Giants are playing for, pretty much they get this win and the next win. They're probably going to get that wild card. They're in the wild card right now but they're fighting to get that number one, to win that division, because the Eagles lost, which was a big loss against the Washington Commanders. Now the Giants don't want to lose this football game because that gives them a little bit closer to winning the NFC East. Now it's early, but it's doable. So all the pressure is on the Giants. All the pressure is on the Giants right now to go out and beat the Lions. I think this game is going to be extremely close. I really do, and I think the Lions are going to edge it out 27-24. I really do. I think they're going to, I don't want to say shock the world, because the Giants are not like they're not the Kansas City Chiefs or anything like that. But they are winning football games because they're well coached and they just do a lot of good things. They're disciplined. They don't let a lot of teams score on them. And then they have a fantastic running game and they eat the clock up really well. But I think the Lions are going to get a couple turnovers here. I think Hutch is going to make some plays. Malcolm's going to make some plays. Okuda. I think it's going to come together. And I'm picking them to win, man. I'm picking the Lions to win. I'm not trying to jinx them, but I think they have a legitimate shot. But that's it, guys. That's my Week 11 preview. Lions at Giants. Let's go, baby. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for paying attention. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. What do you guys think, man? You guys think we have a shot? I think we really do, even though the Giants are 7-2. I'm not saying the Giants are, it's an illusion or anything like that, but I think this is a very winnable game. Go Lions, one pride. Boom.